Right now we have a new tornado warning. It's that same storm now. A tornado warning now radar indicated for Burnett and Williamson County. So we do have a new tornado warning from that same cell that earlier dropped a persistent tornado. And we're watching as currently. Here's the new tornado warning. It is that same cell, but just to the east. Briggs, you are in the heart of this and heading toward Florence as well. The temperature right now, 92 degrees. The cap has been broken. If you are watching this right now, we do still have a tornado warning. Briefly, for 5 minutes, the National Weather Service said, okay, we're going to stand down. We think this storm has cycled and it's weakened. It roped out. Storm chasers no longer seeing it. Then it has started to pick back up again. Here's the tornadic circulation. The new area right here, this is the hook. Briggs, this is moving right toward you. So earlier we were kind of in a generally unpopulated area. Briggs, there is a community there. There are some homes there right along 183. Please make sure to get into that safe spot immediately with a potential tornado that is looking like it is now strengthening back up again. So we saw the rotation weaken. Now it has picked back up again, and we have a new tornado warning. This now for Briggs in Burnett County and into adjacent sections of Williamson County. So pretty easily you can see how when we watched the first circulation diminish, now the second circulation has picked up. Here is 183 and there is Briggs, and we have yet another tornado warning. This one is in effect until 5:45. So the current time is 5:09. If you are in Briggs, please take those tornado safety precautions immediately along 183. Now this warning does also extend into adjacent sections of Williamson County to the west of the Florence area. So 183, 138, Briggs, Mahomet, all of you, please be in that safe spot. Watson, this is going to be just to your east. Briggs, this is moving just through your area and to the west and right along 183. So hopefully there aren't people currently traveling along 183, which could be busy around this time of evening up in that portion of Burnett County. So here's 183, here's Watson, here's Briggs, and this is where the tornadic circulation currently is showing up on radar. It is not as strong as what I had been seeing with the previous tornadic storm. However, we are watching as there is at least the possibility again, there's another rotating wall cloud that has been reporting, and so that is why we've watched as the storm weakened, cycled down. Now it is cycling back up, and you can definitely see that with the brighter shades of green and red indicating greater inbound and outbound velocities right next to each other, or a stronger couplet, which is where the rotation is evident on radar. Northeast Burnett County, far extreme northwest Williamson County, tornado warning in effect. Right now it's 5:11. This warning is in effect until 5:45. The best place to be, interior room, away from any windows. It could be a bathroom, it could be a closet. The farther away you are from the outside walls, the better you will be. And of course, make sure you download our CBS Austin radar app, because you can not only use that to track the storms, you can also download our CBS Austin app and you can track the stream our newscast live wherever you might be hunkered down for safety. Okay, so the latest radar update also showing that the storm is maybe inching a little farther to the south. I'll zoom in so I can give you some road names for where the most likely area is for this possible tornado. And we're looking as G-Bar M Road is one of the roads that's showing up. We'll have to zoom a little bit farther to the north to show you the county names. A little bit north of there, County Road 209B. Here's Rock Bottom Road, County Road 210, Loop 308, and then this line right in here, that is 183. So anyone within this area, County Road 209B, Rock Bottom Road, Briggs, Loop 308, please be in that safe spot right now, because the tornado warned storm had briefly weakened. It has cycled back up and strengthened yet again. So we are unfortunately yet again dealing with a likely tornado. Let's see, rotating wall clouds still indicated nothing on the ground just yet. This is the last update that I'm seeing, but because of this, the tornado warning is still active because there is potential. So the rotating wall cloud, pretty much that's a good indication of why we need to be very watchful of this and make sure to stay in that safe spot. So if you are in Watson, if you are in Briggs, the circulation is right here between you. Here's 183, and it's right just to the northwest of Briggs proper, but I would need you to be in that safe spot throughout the areas through northern Burnett County. All right, so we're watching as tornado warned storm is again moving its way just northwest of Briggs, now just to the west of Briggs. There we go. That's the circulation. It looks like it has strengthened just a tad with the last radar velocity scan. It wouldn't surprise me if right along 183 there is a weaker tornado. This doesn't look nearly as bad as what we saw earlier in Burnett County, but it does look like we do have potential for this to be strengthening ever so slightly. Let me check in on the velocities one more time just so I can confirm for you what things are looking like. Definitely we still have a tornado vortex signature being noted on radar. Let me check the latest scan of the intensity. It looks like some of these wind speeds may still be upwards of 50 miles per hour. So we're talking upwards of 50 miles per hour within this circulation, which is just to the northwest of the B in Briggs along Highway 183 in Burnett County, where we do have a tornado warning in effect until 5:45. I don't think there's much movement. It's moving south at 5 miles per hour. I can go ahead and do a storm track for you. Earlier it was stationary. Now we've got a little bit of movement to it. So let me do a small storm track because that might at least give you some spots. And I'm going to go ahead and take it from the south side of town, even though we know that the circulation is just to the north. I don't think there are any communities that are going to be picked up on this. Yeah, with the slow movement of the storm, using a storm track in this instance where we've got a storm that is literally creeping, we're really not able to key in on anything. So the best way to be notified of the areas of concern is really just to look at those street names, and then to the south, Mahomet. If this should hold together, it possibly will move toward Mahomet. If you're in Florence, if you're in Andice, just be aware of this. If you're in Joppa, also keep in mind that the circulation could be moving toward you. And at this point, Watson area, it's going to be to your east, and it looks as though it's moving more to the south. So Watson area, you're probably through the worst at this point. I'll go ahead and put this again into motion so that you can see how we've been tracking a bit of a strengthening here of the rotation. Right now, max winds appear to be roughly 50 miles per hour, as opposed to about 30 minutes ago when the previous tornado was showing winds close to 100 miles per hour. So even the latest scan looks like it has weakened ever so slightly. Right in here is that couplet, that pixel. It looks like it's a slightly muted color, which might mean the wind speeds have also slightly weakened. So still monitoring. Currently, the National Weather Service is not indicating that there is a tornado on the ground. They are saying that the storm spotters have been reporting that there is a rain-wrapped area that had at one point been a wall cloud, which is rotating at cloud level, but not reporting a tornado extending from that wall cloud. But there are numerous weather spotters who are on this storm, so should there be a report of it actually dropping down a tornado again, I have a hunch we would quickly hear that. So lightning is going to be an issue. We've got 170 lightning strikes. I went ahead and toggled the lightning off so you can see here's the hook, here's Briggs, the circulation right here along 183 and pushing slowly to the south, only about 5 miles per hour. Now, something else that's very interesting and will be worth watching is we also have some storms that are severe warned off toward the west. This is Burnett Highway 281, Lake Buchanan area. This area of storms may actually be running into the tornado warned storm. And so sometimes you can have interactions between the two storms that can either weaken one storm and strengthen the other, or sometimes they can help basically diffuse a tornadic storm. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the environment of this storm system moves in and bumps into the tornadic circulation. So stay tuned. Sometimes that can also mean erratic tornadic motion. So currently we're watching it push to the south, but if this outflow from the storm to the west bumps into the tornadic circulation, it's possible that the motion could push more toward the east. If that's the case, then this would be more of a concern for the Williamson County side of things. But currently, Briggs, Florence, Watson to the west, and then eventually toward Joppa. Please make sure you are staying in that safe spot as a precaution with the tornado warning. All right, so I'm getting a current look as of 5:16. The emergency manager in Burnett County is showing a look in Briggs, and there is a definite lowering with the wall cloud in Briggs currently along 183. However, there is not a tornado extending toward the ground. But I am seeing visual confirmation from the emergency manager in Burnett County right now that there is a wall cloud that is moving right through Briggs. So we have multiple offices that are, again, confirming that the wall cloud is very close to touching the ground. So we're going to keep going with the assumption that if a tornado is not currently happening, it is imminent or could drop at any time. So tornado warning. 5:45 is the current expiration time. Briggs, this is what we're watching. The circulation is moving just west of Briggs in Burnett County. Here's Highway 183, Watson to the northwest, and the circulation literally just west of town in Briggs. So that's why we're seeing some visuals of what it looks like with a wall cloud. And there's an extension to the south, but it is not all the way to the ground. So we do not have a tornado on the ground, but we do have visual confirmation of a rotating wall cloud. So honestly, we've just got to continue to maintain everything you can do to make sure you stay safe. Lowest level, interior room, away from any windows, as a precaution as we have the tornado warning. Also worth noting, there is potential for hail within the storm of up to 2 inches in diameter. That's roughly egg-sized. Anything above 1 inch in diameter is considered severe, and that is enough that it could shatter windshields and cause a lot of damage. So it's not just the tornado threat, which is obviously a big deal, but also a hail threat as well that we will be experiencing. I will quickly look at the latest scan because it looks like the pixels up here have increased a little bit in intensity. We may see a little bit of strengthening going on with that latest scan there. Right here, we're watching G-Bar M Road, and here's Briggs, and here are the brightest pixels right in here, right along 183. Here's County Road 209B, so just near Briggs. We're watching as there's just been a little bit of an uptick in intensity of the velocities, meaning higher wind speeds, meaning greater potential to cause damage should we get this to touch down. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more closely. County Road 211, Rock Bottom Road. Again, here's Briggs and 183. Here's County Road 209B. It's a fairly small area, not super populated, but we are, again, dealing with that potential that we could see the storm actually make it all the way to the ground. The last visual I saw was a wall cloud that was just barely above the surface. So it looks as though from the latest velocity, you know how I was mentioning it looked like it was up, there was an uptick. The latest velocity scan is actually showing we may have some winds now up close to 90 miles per hour. That was a quick adjustment. Again, this is radar indicated, and this would be aloft, but this does look like it has strengthened some. So take this a little bit more seriously. Even if we don't have a confirmation of it being on the ground, it's trying. And we are seeing those wind speeds pick up within this. A very small area, County Road 211, Rock Bottom Road, Loop 308, Briggs. All of these locations are areas where I need you to make sure to stay indoors in that safe spot as this storm is literally, here's downtown Briggs, the storm is literally, the circulation is just to the west side of town, G-Bar M Road, and it's going to be slowly moving to the south. So eventually Mahomet, as well as Briggs, County Road 211, all of these locations will see this storm start to pull into your area. I'll go ahead and put it into motion again. And the thing that we're watching is whenever we have an area of green right next to an area of red, co-located next to each other, and the brighter those shades of green and red, as you can see how it intensified right in here, the brighter those shades are, the higher confidence that we have that it's a stronger system that could cause more damage. And so I'm watching right now, these little pixels in here have now shown indications of possibly 90-mile-per-hour winds. Something to keep in mind, 90-mile-per-hour winds being indicated now on radar. Just keeping this real for you all, this could cause some significant damage. You know, 70 plus, we're talking hurricane force winds. So this is something that could definitely create damage should we have it touch the ground. So, tornado warning still in effect, rotation 1 mile away from Briggs. So we're talking extremely close to the heart of downtown Briggs in Burnett County, sliding slowly to the south. It's pushing across 183 and moving toward County Road 11, where we still have that tornado warning in effect, plus the potential of seeing 2-inch diameter hail. This is radar indicated, and the tornado warning is part of what has been a persistent rotating supercell thunderstorm that started up in the Killeen area and has steadily worked its way very, very slowly, mind you, into Burnett County and portions of adjacent Williamson County. So we do still have that tornado warning in effect until 5:45. All right, so because of the fact that this is moving so incredibly slowly, it's not something that I can easily storm track for you, but I will tell you, from Black Road right now toward County Road 211, County Road, I can't see what's underneath this one, might be 203, Mahomet, these areas, this is where the general motion of that circulation is going to be moving through. So if you are in Briggs right now, the circulation is literally just to your west. You need to be in the safe spot. If you are in Joppa, I need you to go ahead and be in your safe spot off toward the west. If you are in Mahomet, go ahead and be in your safe spot just to be sure and safe. County Road 211, this is where, and Black Road is right now where the biggest area of potential circulation would be. Still not seeing any additional confirmation of a touchdown, and there are multiple storm chasers on this, so as soon as there is a touchdown, I'm pretty sure we would get almost immediate feedback that that's going on. Tornado warning, though, does continue. Let me go ahead and show you the potential for hail while we're here, because typically on the north side of these tornadic supercells is where we see the biggest hail. And sure enough, that is exactly what our hail tracker is showing. So the circulation where the potential tornado is literally just west of Briggs, within maybe a mile along 183, on Highway 183. The hail core is moving right into Briggs. So you are likely getting damaging, destructive hail that is just on the north side and into Briggs. Go ahead and query this little pixel for you, because I have a hunch it's pretty large hail that may be indicated here on our radar. It may actually, yep, golf ball sized hail. Okay, so in addition to the potential of a tornadic storm, we have likely golf ball sized hail that is falling in Briggs and just to the north of Briggs. Let me go ahead and put this into motion as well so that you can see over the last 30 minutes or so the progression of the hail part of the storm. And it does look like it has intensified within the last 30 minutes as it's dropping to the south. So Briggs, plan on this moving in, plan on potential destructive hail. All right, so 1 mile northwest of Briggs is where the rotation is. National Weather Service still keeping tabs on it, still saying spotters have not confirmed a new touchdown, but we are watching that. We do know that based on radar, there is potential of golf ball sized hail with this storm, and it is very slowly moving. Okay, so now we're watching. Here's Briggs. This is 183. There's Watson. There's Mahomet. There's the highest area of wind right here, just to the west northwest of Briggs. And this thing's really seeming like it's kind of slowing down just a little bit. But let me check and see if the wind speeds have picked up at all. I know earlier I was seeing some potential for 90-mile-per-hour winds. Right now, radar is indicating 58-mile-per-hour winds. So 58-mile-per-hour winds in this little pixel right here that you can see to the west of Briggs. Still watching as there is a circulation and a rotation couplet, but currently no tornado reported on the ground. There is a rotating wall cloud. Storm spotters are watching the system. The tornado warning for Burnett County and adjacent sections of northwest Williamson County continues until at least 5:45. The current time is 5:27. So this is our intro to spring. It is May 1st, and Mother Nature is not messing around. We already had one confirmed tornado farther north in Burnett County. That circulation weakened enough that the tornado warning was allowed to expire. 5 minutes later, a new tornado warning, and that's the storm that we've been tracking for the Briggs area. Right now, the velocities have dropped off a little bit from what they were showing earlier, but there is still compelling evidence that there is rotation within the storm, and there could certainly be the possibility that this storm could work its way down to the surface as a funnel cloud and or tornado. So far, though, we are watching as it's still showing at least 1.5-inch diameter hail potential, as well as what's called a tornado vortex signature, which is indicative of a storm that could produce or tornado imminently. So if you're in Briggs, that is where we stand. There's still also a severe thunderstorm warning that is to the west that includes Burnett and Bertram. And I am told that we have a live shot coming in from northeast Liberty Hill. This is going to be in Williamson County near Andice. And we're watching as in Liberty Hill. I'll go ahead and show you on my radar view where we would be looking toward that storm. So here is Liberty Hill right here along Highway 29 in Williamson County. Here is the tornado warned storm in Briggs, and that was the shot we were showing you as our crew is driving toward where that tornado warned storm is. And we'll take another look at that footage again from Williamson County near Liberty Hill heading toward Andice. And it's kind of difficult, as you can see, not really able to ascertain anything aside from, you can see the clouds there as our storm tracker is working its way northward, likely along 183, I presume, is probably where they're driving currently, heading through Williamson County, Liberty Hill, and then likely northward toward the Briggs area. They are driving on 183. Yes, I'm getting confirmation of that. So Liberty Hill currently not under warning. They're driving toward the Andice area, which would be the next in line for some strong to severe thunderstorms. And then Briggs is where the circulation is. Now, what's interesting is radar is kind of showing that these two storm systems are kind of congealing right now. And this was something I was watching earlier, was wondering what would happen when these storms kind of interact with each other. And what we're seeing is multiple storms are kind of pooling themselves together, which may mean one of them literally steals the other's thunder. So something to keep in mind is that might actually be good from the standpoint of limiting the tornado potential in the Briggs storm, the fact that we've got more storms that are developing farther to the south near Andice. That storm near Andice, not yet severe warned. I have a hunch it will be soon, though, just because of the amount of activity that has really ramped up very recently with this. So Bertram, you are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Burnett, you are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Andice, not yet, but I think soon. All right, so we're watching as these storms are really limited to Burnett County and northwest Williamson County as of yet, with a very steamy atmosphere that is ripe for storms. Also wanted to mention to you, we have our first severe thunderstorm warning that has quickly developed in Mason County. So while we've been watching with the tornadoes potential in Burnett County, this is a hailer in Mason County, south side of Mason County. It looks like the worst of the hail core has weakened, but Hedwig's Hill and heading into Mason, you have a severe thunderstorm warning there until 6 p.m. So please make sure you stay weather aware there. That's Mason County, Burnett County. Again, what we've been watching, these storms are slowly working their way toward the south and east. Florence, you've got some weather happening there. You are just on the edge of where the tornado warned storm is. That still is in the Briggs area. Watching a little bit more, the weakening rotation is strengthening again. This is from the National Weather Service. They say just west of Briggs, the rotating wall cloud has been reported again after a little bit of weakening. All right, so we've got, yep, it's showing definitely some uptick in intensity. So continue to take safety precautions in. Now the circulation most likely just west and southwest of the Briggs area. This is showing an increase in intensity. A rotating wall cloud again being reported. Let me go ahead and check the velocities on that last scan. It looks like it's really picked up again. All right, so now we're showing potential of 63 mile per hour, 64 mile per hour winds. So earlier this had weakened a little bit. Now it has re-strengthened. We've got 60+ mile per hour winds that are being indicated here on radar, with the tornado warning still in effect until 5:45. An indication that I have been on for a really long time is now my other computer is running out of battery. I'm going to go grab the cord so I can plug it in so I can keep you guys updated. All right, so we've got the severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect for Briggs and for Williamson County until at least 5:45. So that's where we stand with the potential of what could become another damaging tornado. Earlier, we did have a tornado that was reported in the northeastern portion of Burnett County, kind of in a rural area near Ocala. Right now, our storm chasing crew is tracking the storms through Williamson County. They are driving along Highway 183 north of Liberty Hill. They are heading toward Andice, and on that trajectory, they are basically going to, at some point, come into close proximity to where the tornado warned storm is. Obviously, they will stay safe from that and make sure that they are able to provide information while not getting into harm's way. But the velocities do continue to ramp up. We've got over 60-mile-per-hour winds being indicated now, according to radar. I'm also getting a new photo from the Briggs area from a viewer in North Liberty Hill. He's shooting on a really large lens and is indeed showing what appears to be a tornado in the Briggs area. So presume that this could be another tornado that has dropped. I just got a new photo and I was looking at that. Let's see. I didn't plug it in soon enough. I have to relog in. That is okay. All right, so we are getting, again, potential for another tornado having possibility of touching down. So right now, severe thunderstorm warning, 1.5-inch diameter hail, winds 60 miles per hour at the very minimum. 5:34 the time. We still have the tornado warning for the Briggs area being reported. Right now, it looks like after spinning up a little bit more in terms of higher intensity, it looks like it has weakened ever so slightly. Just to the south of Briggs is where that circulation is. So we're fortunate that right now it appears that we are not in the midst of a tornado on the ground, but we are continuing to monitor should it happen. So I'm pulling my radar back up. In the meantime, right now, 5:34, a severe thunderstorm watch does include much of our area: Mason, Llano, Burnett, Williamson, Travis, including Austin, Milam, Lee, and Bastrop counties. It's in effect until 9 p.m. All right, so we're looking at radar right now. I'm still logging in. And the tornado warning still in effect until 5:45. Hail up to 2 inches in diameter possible. Rotation now to the southwest of Briggs. This would be the most likely area for a tornado, just south of 183. This storm system has been incredibly slow to move. Typically, with our usual severe weather events, these storms are racing 20, 30 miles per hour, and I can actually track for you town by town, time by time. In this instance, we have watched over the last hour this storm move about 10 miles. So it's basically just been in the same area. So it's in Briggs now, it's heading south, it will likely head toward Mahomet. So if you're in Mahomet, please make sure you are in that safe spot. Closing in now on the Burnett-Williamson County line. So far northeast Burnett, far northwest Williamson County would be where this circulation will be heading. And I'm going to see if the National Weather Service plans on extending a new tornado warning, what their intentions may be. Let's see. No one has, as of yet, said whether they're going to extend the warning more. It likely will be, though, just because we are still seeing a couplet showing the potential of that possible tornado. And often what we'll see is what we call radar indicated. Right now, this is radar indicated. Earlier, it was a confirmed tornado. So right now, we're watching on radar. There is a circulation. Between scans, we'll see it ramp up, and then we'll see it ramp down. Currently, it has ramped down a little bit, meaning those wind speeds that are showing within the center of the rotation, which is now just to the south and southwest of Briggs, has dropped off a little bit. I'm looking, it looks like maybe some 58-mile-per-hour peak winds now showing in this area of where the rotational couplet is with the tornado warning that is in effect. Okay, so Briggs, if you are in Briggs, you are in the hail core. You're probably going to be experiencing damaging hail. So far, a tornado has not been reported in Briggs, but that circulation is skirting on the west side of town as we speak, and we do still have that tornado warning in effect. I'll go ahead and zoom in. We'll talk about some more town names and roads. They are going to issue a new tornado warning. So at 5:45, we will not see the expiration. We will see a new tornado warning issued for this same circulation. That is per the National Weather Service. So heads up, if you are in Mahomet, you're going to be in a tornado warning very shortly. It wouldn't surprise me if this also would include Andice. And looking all along the downstream areas, might be close to Bertram. So areas that will potentially be placed in this next tornado warning will definitely be Mahomet, probably Andice, and possibly Bertram. 183 corridor heading out of Burnett County and into Williamson County will be where the new tornado warning is as we track the circulation. So here's Briggs, 183 is right here. This is 138, here's Mahomet, FM 243, and Joppa. Out here, this is FM 1174. The tornado warning, currently in effect until 5:45, will be extended. A new tornado warning will be issued downstream, and by that means the areas that are next in line for the potential tornado. So I fully expect that with the new tornado warning, we will likely see Andice included in that tornado warning. Obviously, Mahomet will be included, and possibly Bertram, and then downstream across Highway 183. So tornado warned storm, currently not a tornado confirmed, and there are storm chasers who have been consistently and persistently watching these storms. So if there were a new touchdown, we would have had that relayed to us. Thus far, we have not. So this is being called a rotation radar indicated tornado based on rotation on radar. Wall clouds have been reported, and typically a wall cloud is a precursor to a tornado touching down. So when you have a wall cloud, that's close enough for concern for the possibility of having a touchdown. All right, I'm going to go back to the radar view because there are multiple storms. Even though we're watching specifically this area and what had been a pretty good hook echo for the tornado itself, we're also watching farther south some additional storms, and the new warning has just been issued. And as expected, it does indeed include Bertram and Andice, all the way to just the north side of Liberty Hill. So new tornado warning. This one includes Burnett and Williamson counties. It is in effect until 6:30 this evening with a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located right over the Briggs area, 11 miles northeast of Bertram, and moving south at just 5 miles per hour. It is really creepy. I can run 5 miles an hour. So that's to give you an indication of how slow this thing is going. It's moving slow. All right, so Briggs, you are currently on the north side of the circulation. The circulation is just on the south side of town, 183, and the new tornado warning extends all the way toward Bertram, Highway 29, just to the north of Liberty Hill, just to the west of Sun City and Serenata, out toward Florence. Andice, you are in the thick of the new tornado warning. Again, the storm is moving extremely slowly. I will try to do a storm track to give you some towns and some times, but because of the slow movement of the storm, it might not give me a whole lot. So I'm going to start on the south end of the circulation, and we'll go ahead and track this to the south at 5 miles per hour. I mean, it is so slow. And likely, we're not going to see much. 6:22, so current time is 5:40, and at a rate of 5 miles per hour, we're talking 6:22 for it to reach Mahomet. So take another 5 miles. It would still be north of Liberty Hill, but moving near Andice by then. Another 5 miles. So it could be, if the storm doesn't pick up in speed, it could be hours that we are tracking this same storm. Hopefully it's not tornado warned the whole way, but that gives you an indication. So super slow movement, only 5 miles per hour, tracking to the south, heading toward Mahomet next. Currently it is radar indicated. It is not a confirmed tornado on the ground, but we are treating it as such. So you should be in that safe spot, somewhere where you can have your phone, keep track on radar, or turn on the TV, turn up the volume, go into that safe spot so that you can continue to not only stay weather aware, but also be in a safe spot should this thing decide it wants to pick up in intensity. All right, so the National Weather Service relaying to us the rotation has weakened and broadened. Those are both good things when you're talking about tornadoes. The tighter and stronger the circulation, the more likely an actual tornado is happening or imminent. The broader and weaker the circulation, the more likely that it is not. But despite the fact that the storm has weakened and broadened, the National Weather Service says because of its history of cycling, which means pulsing up and pulsing down. Rather than pull the plug on the warning, they've decided they're just going to issue a new one to err on the side of caution. So that new tornado warning is based on the potential that though the storm has weakened temporarily, that it may ramp back up. Moving to the south, 5 miles per hour. New areas within the tornado warning include Bertram and Andice, and just to the north of Liberty Hill along 183. Mahomet, you are in the core of the tornado warning. Next in line, roughly around 622 or so, based on the storm motion of only 5 miles per hour. Worth noting, you're already getting storms in Mahomet. I'm just tracking that potentially tornadic circulation. So you may see hail, high winds, storm activity already there. It's the rotation part that I'm really kind of tracking and trying to key in on. We also do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for western areas of Burnett County, as well as far eastern sections of Llano County. That is likely because of hail. So new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Marble Falls and Kingsland. Lake Buchanan, the strongest part of that storm, is currently over you as we speak. I'll go ahead and put up some stats on this particular storm with the new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued just a couple of seconds ago. That includes Kingsland and Marble Falls. So this is for potential hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter. That is about half dollar size. Winds up to 60 miles per hour. And this includes Burnett, Granite Shoals, Kingsland, and Marble Falls. So if you are in any of those areas, at this point, we're not looking at rotation and tornado potential. We're looking at big hail potential for you. And that is the storm that is currently right over Lake Buchanan and is dropping toward Highway 29. Here's Highway 29 in the Burnett area toward Bertram. This storm is tracking off toward the south. I can track it because it's moving a little bit quicker than the other. Let me go ahead and quickly get for you how fast it is moving, and then I'll do a storm track on it for you. So it's moving, well, that one's moving south about 5 miles per hour as well. So let me see if there's one other storm. It looks like it's moving a little bit faster. But no, yeah, roughly about 5 miles per hour. Okay, so 5 miles per hour, so be it. We will go ahead and track that for you. I'll put this into current motion, and we will head 30 miles per hour from the southern extent of the storm, about 5 miles per hour for it moving through. So Black Rock Park about 549, Inks Lake about 549, 604 for Buchanan Dam. Again, this is hail potential. This is not the tornado warned storm, but I do want to go ahead and head back over to where the tornado warning is in effect, and I'll pop that up on here with you for the latest on the Briggs area. The circulation is now south of Briggs, as well heading toward Mahomet, Bertram, Oatmeal, Andice, all within the tornado warning. And I'm getting word that reporter Michael Atkinson is actually out tracking the storms and has, Michael Crowley, sorry about that, has information on us for what the storms are looking like out there. Sorry about that, Michael. How are you? And thanks for checking in with us. Hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, we are reporting live from Andice right now. This is just over my left shoulder right now is the tornado warned storm where we've been countlessly going over all that information. Take a look over my left right now. If you look in that bright area just beyond those cars on County Road, this is along 183 actually, and this is heading just to the north of Liberty Hill. That lit up area right there where the clouds are breaking through, that's where we're watching to see if we have any lowering of the cloud deck. We had some small hail earlier. It was about the same size as maybe around, I would say maybe pea size, maybe a little bit larger than that. So no severe hail to report as of just yet, but this storm is going down to my west, as I'm sure Chicago has been talking about. I'm gonna look at radar real quick on my phone so I can give you guys some more information. So Briggs is a little bit further up to my north, getting some pretty frequent lightning there, as well as some gusty winds. And as we look forward up to the north a little bit of me, we are going to see some pretty heavy downpours beginning for Andice really soon. There is some lightning starting to get an uptick around here. So the more lightning we start to get, the less I'm going to be out here. And if it gets too bad, we're going to stay in the car and try to give you guys some updates that way, because we got to be safe. You guys got to be safe. We just got to keep giving you guys updates as we do. If we see anything that looks like we may see a lowering of the cloud decks behind me, I'm going to let you know. But for now, we're going to send it back to Chicago in the studio. CBS Austin meteorologist Michael Crowley.
Thank you, Michael. Now, I got a quick follow-up question for you. I see a lot of traffic moving behind you. I think it's so difficult in situations where people are on the road and they're maybe not aware that there could literally be a tornado 20 miles up the road from where they are. Are there sirens? Is there any indication for you, other than the fact that you're a meteorologist and you're tracking these storms, that there is a tornado warning in effect there?
So sitting next to us, this is actually a bit of a group of cars that are sitting around us right now. There is the Williamson County Sheriff sitting next to us, making sure that all these people pulled over on the side of the road are okay. And I haven't noticed any emergency vehicles go by. And another thing that we've been talking about most of the afternoon is this was a rain-wrapped tornado, which means you can't see it. So you can't really tell how close it is behind you or how it is in front of you, because, I mean, if you look behind me, there's no obvious indicator that this is a tornado warning. There's nothing there. It's just so difficult to tell. But as of right now, it's very hard to tell if people do know. People are driving just as they normally would on their regular day, but I think some of these residents are starting to get the news a bit that we have a tornado warning. Some of these people are parking on the side of the road waiting for this storm to pass.
Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, so I've got a good update for you, and this is some promising news. The National Weather Service, remember how I was talking earlier about how there are multiple storms? The storm that's bringing the pea-sized hail, the small hail that Michael was talking about, was farther south. I'll show it to you on radar in Andice. And that storm was basically bumping into the tornadic storm that's up here in Briggs. And so what has happened is exactly what I was curious about is what happens when the storms collide. So the southern storm, which is the weaker storm, not tornadic, bumping into the farther north storm over Briggs that has had a history of being tornadic, the two are colliding, and that has in turn weakened the Briggs storm, which is for us great news and awesome information, because that hopefully will continue to mitigate and lower the threat of seeing that circulation turn tornadic again. At the same time, we cannot ignore the fact that there is a very large amount of rain that has been falling out of these storms, and because of that, we just have had 2 flood advisories issued. One on the north side of Briggs, all the way to the northern border of northern Burnett County, and all the way to the northeastern border of Burnett County. So a new flood advisory here. As well, there's a new flood advisory for Lake Buchanan. We love that it's falling over the lake. We don't want flooding though, but we love that it's falling over the lake. So in addition to the severe weather concerns, this is basically the Super Bowl of weather that we're watching right now. We've got a tornado warning, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings, we've got flood advisories all happening concurrently through Burnett County, Texas. And this is all going to eventually be sagging to the south. It is so slow. I'll go ahead and take a look at the amount of rain that has fallen. This is going to be a 6-hour radar estimation of rainfall totals, and sure enough, in the yellows, that's where we're seeing some of the heaviest and highest amounts of rain. I'll query this for you because I suspect some of these are going to be pretty impressive. Yep, 3.2 inches of rain northwest side of Burnett, east of Lake Buchanan, 2.7 inches of rain in the Briggs area. So because of that, that's why we have these new flood advisories that have been put into effect. Also going to check in on the hail for us because we've been tracking that as well. The National Weather Service, they are going to cancel the tornado warning. They are going to replace it with a severe thunderstorm warning. This is great news. Okay, so we've still got severe weather concerns, but I am so pleased to tell you that the tornado warning is about to be canceled. So soon enough, you're going to see this tornado warning right here replaced by a box like this, which is a severe thunderstorm warning. We're still going to have hail. We still may have damage, but thankfully, it appears that because the storms colliding with each other have been able to more or less steal the thunder of the tornado warning storm. This is about to be transitioning over to a severe thunderstorm. That said, we're going to have flood potential, heavy rain potential, hail potential. So do not stand down, but just breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief after what has been a crazy day. And so here we go. We've now see the storm reports, that funnel cloud report there, and we of course have the confirmed tornado. But this area here in Briggs, down toward Andice, Mahomet, is going to be transitioning over to a severe thunderstorm warning instead of a tornado warning. Hail cores, one near Briggs, another one out just north of Highway 29, and more hail likely, possibly quite heavy hail being shown by our hail tracker in Lake Buchanan. Let me go ahead and take a look at this because that is also something to keep in mind. There could be damaging hail. Yesterday it was Taylor with tennis ball size hail, 2.5 inches in diameter. We are yet again today watching as there are severe thunderstorms with hail that are likely falling across the area. I'm trying to do a query to show you the hail estimates, but they're not popping up. Let's see, there we go, hen egg size. That's never good. That's 2-inch diameter hail. So if you are on the southeast side of Lake Buchanan, currently along Highway 29, there is hail that is showing up 2 inches in diameter for that area. All right, so also getting a report that there is some hail that has been falling in Briggs. So that was exactly what was indicated on radar. Also, the first touchdown. Remember how there was a tornado first off that was just near Ocala and to the west of there? Getting reports from emergency managers that there are lots of trees down on County Road 223. That's where the first tornado touchdown happened. County Road 223, tops of trees knocked down, fences knocked down. There are people who are currently trying to get those roads drivable. So I would say avoid County Road 223 in Burnett County near Ocala because it appears that there is tornado damage and the emergency workers need to get in there, clear things out, make things safe again. So tornado damage confirmed, County Road 223 in Burnett County. Currently dealing with the hail that is falling. This is Inks Lake area. We're getting indications of hail that could be on the order of 2 inches in diameter. That is the size of a hen egg currently falling across Lynx Lake. Now we're up to billiard ball. Okay, so think about when you're playing pool and how large that pool ball is. That's how large the hail currently is showing. Oh, and it's actually, last scan has picked up even more. Giant hail, damaging hail. We are now up to baseball-sized hail, just like that, the latest radar scan. So we've got a damaging hail situation going on. Lake Buchanan, on the eastern shores of Lake Buchanan and near Inks Lake, currently showing baseball-sized hail falling with a storm that is nearly stationary. Severe thunderstorm warning here until 6:45. This is on the east side of the Llano-Burnett County line with baseball-sized hail now being indicated with that storm. We will head back to the previous tornado warning, and this is a sight for sore eyes. We no longer had the red box. That's because that tornado warned storm bumped in to the storm to the south. The storm to the south stole some of the energy from the storm to the north and weakened it. That is why not only are we dealing with no longer a tornado warning, but even the hail core for Briggs, which had been up here in the blue and green range, has now worked its way a little bit weaker. So we're finally seeing that supercell thunderstorm that started all the way up in Killeen and Copper's Cove, worked its way down into Burnett County, dropped a tornado, weakened again, and prompted another tornado warning for Briggs. That storm is now weakening. We still, though, just to the north of Bertram, do have another hail core, but really, folks, it looks like this Lake Buchanan cell with the baseball-sized hail, that currently is along, well, with what I'm looking at, that's the biggest menacing storm that we've got going on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to the north of Bertram because I want to give you some information on that hail core. Golf ball sized hail was just reported at Park Road 4 and State Highway 29. Golf ball sized hail, Park Road 4, State Highway 29. So that's where we stand with the situation there. Let me go ahead and get the latest hail information on this one for you. Right around Joppa is where we're seeing a hail core popping up over near FM 243 after Ranch. Let's see. Okay, well, that's good. The latest update showed this hail core weakening just a little tiny bit. Let me go ahead and do the query on it. So if you're in Joppa right now, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Golf ball sized hail right there is being indicated. After Ranch Estates, north FM 1174, the town of Joppa, golf ball sized hail, FM 243. So 5:55, no longer do we have any tornado warnings. Awesome news. We've got damaging hail potential. We still have heavy rain. We still have flood advisories. So golf ball size hail currently being indicated for Joppa. Lower amounts of hail for areas east of Briggs and toward Florence. Let me go ahead and query these for you. If you're in Florence, if you're along Highway 138, if you're along 183 east of Briggs, we've got walnut-sized hail, and then east of Briggs, it looks like walnut-sized hail as well. So this is still severe hail. It's just not that gigantic hail. So Florence, heads up, you've got hail that is incoming. It is moving toward you right now. The largest hail core, though, is the one that's out east of Buchanan Dam. This one is baseball-sized hail, and this is one that could be causing destructive damage. If you are near Inks Lake, if you are on the east side of Lake Buchanan, this hail core is something else. It is bright red, which is basically right in here on our scale, and we're talking giant hail. Now up to grapefruit. Okay, so baseball size is bad enough. It is now up to grapefruit-sized hail being indicated out of this. Here's Highway 29, Inks Lake State Park, and we're watching as there's a huge swath right in here showing what could be grapefruit-sized hail. Think about this. That's going to cause a lot of damage. We are just getting underway with a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect all the way until 9 p.m. All right, so here we go. Burnett, Granite Shoals, Kingsland, Marble Falls, still under that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45, and for good reason. You can see right now we do have potential for hail as large as the size of grapefruits. Well, let me go ahead and put this into motion so you can kind of see where things have gone. We've watched as the hail hasn't moved a lot, but it has intensified. It moved in, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. What is happening is those hailstones go up in the storm, and they basically get tossed into the updraft. And the higher the updraft, the more strength there is within that storm, the stronger the winds. They carry that hailstone up and up and up, and it keeps circling. And each time it does, it develops another layer of ice, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until finally the cloud can't hold it anymore. It comes crashing down. And once you get to grapefruit size, we are talking upward velocities, probably upwards of 100 miles per hour. So that is going to cause some incredible damage as it's coming crashing down. So that's where we stand. Better than tornadoes, but not great, because there's going to be significant damage for much of the area near and east of Lake Buchanan with that severe hail, and it looks just, I mean, you can watch as it just blossoms over the area. So it's a very narrow area, but is likely dealing with baseball to grapefruit sized hail with the severe thunderstorm warning still in effect there until 6:45. That includes Lake Buchanan, Sudeth, Burnett, as well as Kingsland, Marble Falls, and then the other severe thunderstorm warning, which was previously the tornado warning, Bertram, still to the north of Sun City, but potentially holding on long enough to reach you. Florence, so much going on. Okay, with that said, we have reached 5:59, and my cohort, Walt Macaborski, is going to help me out with the latest on the news, and we'll continue to keep track of the weather as well. All right, so I'm going to head over here, Walt. Can you recall an evening that we have had that has been quite so busy?
You'd like a break, wouldn't you? You've been on for a couple hours.
I just need a drink of water, that's all. But
yeah,
I will tell you,
it
is such a relief after doing wall-to-wall coverage on potential tornadoes.
Sure.
We know there was a touchdown, County Road 223 in Burnett County, but thankfully that storm is weakened because it ran into the other one.
Yeah, well, look, it's been a crazy start to May. Grapefruit-sized hail out by Inks Lake. We're not out of the woods yet. We're going to give Chicago a break, then we're going to get back into some more news of the day, and then buckle up. It's severe weather season in Texas. We'll check back with you in just a little bit.
Quite a wild ride.
Yeah, it's just beginning. Thanks, Chicago. Great job, wall to wall.